Welcome to East End Park, Ivo.
Thank you.
Is this the first time you've been back at East End Park since leaving Scotland as a player?
No, I have played, I think, 2 testimonial games. One for Stuart, one for Andrew Todd.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 2 occasions I've been here.
And you've not been back since then?
I've not been back since, and I've not been back to watch games a lot anyway. Not other clubs either. Recently I've been to Montrose last year, and for the rest I haven't been anywhere. I have my own life in the Netherlands as well.
When you came to East End Park, it was Bert Payton that signed you.
Yes.
And you had been given a free transfer by Dundee and previously had played for Montrose.
Yes.
So how did you come over to Scotland to play football? How did that come about?
I was playing in the Netherlands on an amateur level, but it's probably not the right level for what it's like in Scotland. But it was right underneath the professional leagues, and a gentleman from Scotland who was there on business, but also was a scout. And had an eye for football, came and watched the game that I played in the Netherlands. And that was in '89, about October, November '89. And I played well. And then 6, 7, 8 months later I was in Italy to follow the World Cup. And my mom phoned me, or I phoned my mom, and she said that I had an invitation to go to Scotland. To go with Montrose, and well, I jumped at the occasion because I was studying at the time. I was unattached, didn't have any ties in the Netherlands, so I could just pick up my bag, my 2 bags that I had, and I went to Aberdeen to play for Montrose.
How did the move come about then to Dunfermline? Obviously, you had been given a free transfer by Dundee. Had you had other offers?
No, I had signed a year plus an option of a year, and I actually started the 2nd season, but the option was pulled from under my feet. So 10 days before the season started, Dundee informed me, we don't need you anymore. So that was me, basically in limbo. And I think it was on a Monday or Tuesday or something like that. And on a Friday I was training here. And on a Saturday I played together with Stevie Campbell. I played here against West Ham. And well, the rest is history, as they say.
You were well known for your play on the right side of the
midfield.
Field, yeah. With your you had a different style of running to most people.
Odd.
And a fantastic whipped in cross, and you took a good throw in as well.
Yeah.
So you won the fans over quite quickly.
Yeah, correct. I actually started up the test game. I started up in the striker role together with Frenchie. But I knew that was never my position, so at Montrose and at Dundee I always played wide right. And the fans responded to me big style, and obviously I showed what they liked to see. And here we have somebody sitting that became a fan's favorite, so I just did what I did and they liked it, so I never gave up. I would not say that I was a typical Scottish midfielder, but they liked the style, and well, plenty of crosses flew in, and were scored, and goals were scored from crosses. So yeah, we had Stuart Petrie came in that same season, and Toddy came in a little bit later. So we were in it together a little bit as well. So yeah, we were called on the graveyard shifts on the left and on the right. go just up and down the park from 16 to 60, from 18-yard box to 18-yard box. But yeah, it was great. If I remember the games, and we just used to roll teams up here, 5, 6, 7, for fun.
You didn't score many goals for
No.
us, but you made quite a lot. Are there any other goals that stick in your memory from about the 13 or 14 you scored for?
I can only remember the one that I scored against Rangers, but that was more a fluke anyway. And it didn't really matter because I think we ended up losing 5-2. But no, I can't really. No, I'm really bad at that. At remembering things that I did myself.
You were playing at that time with Jackie McNamara.
Yeah.
He was behind.
Yeah, I came in here when
side.
Jackie was a youngster, 18-year, and very shy, and sitting in the corner and not saying anything. So that's my earliest memory of Jackie. And he was the right back. And no, he came in that season because Mark Bowman was, I think, Mark Bowman. Remember?
Mark Byers.
Yeah, blonde hair. He was the right back of choice at that time. But Jackie obviously made him a sub quite quickly. And yeah, I played a lot of games together with Jackie behind me.
Was it quite good playing on the right wing with Jackie?
Yeah, but not only Jackie. Like I said, we used to just roll one wave of attack after the next, and we had a very good team with Paul Smith in central midfield, Craig Robertson central midfield, Frenchie up front, George O'Boyle, I don't know if I can mention his name. So that was an attacking force. And yeah, with Jackie, it was very easy to play because he would always go and he would always leave the space or make space for you, and I would do the same for him. But yeah, our styles obviously complemented each other.
That season also, we got to the playoff game where we lost out to Wraith Rovers, who won the league that season, and we ended up in a playoff game against Aberdeen, home and away. Can you remember anything about the game up at Aberdeen?
Yeah, it was. We were out of our depth there. It was definitely. If we had, it's one of those games. If you play 10 times, we would have won 1, and they would have won 8, and we had 1 draw. But Aberdeen was just too good for us at that time, and they had far better players than we had, and that's we just had to held our hand up and say, well, they won fairly and squarely. I can remember, the only thing I can remember from the game up there is that we started doing the warm-up on the side of that Aberdeen always wanted to do the warm-up.
Was that a tactic by Greg?
No, Craig Robertson knew that obviously, of playing there. So yeah, we trying to get their tails up a little bit, but I don't think we ever were in a chance of winning that that playoff.
So was it a disappointment that season not to gain promotion in 94-95 because you only lost out by 1 point?
Yeah, I guess it is, but I suppose we've lost points, we dropped points on the way, but also we gained points that we actually didn't deserve. And in the end of the season, the table never lies. That is where you stand, that is how good you were, and if we had been better, or if we had, I can remember the game up at Wraith Rovers, I was a striker, but it was not my role, so I was there, but I wasn't there either. So we were just second best that season, fair enough.
The following season, 95-96, when we did win promotion, there was another few changes to the team, because that season there was a few injuries to players, and Bert would bring in players and players would leave. And previously, Guido Van de Kamp had arrived in 94-95, and also Alan Moore. So we had them as well as Westy, and he also signed Andy Smith at the beginning of 95-96. And that was also the season that we lost Jackie to Celtic. Can you remember much about that season, playing like game-wise, if there was any that...
Well, after two close calls, you obviously start looking for fresh players. Andy Smith obviously was a good addition, because always when we played against Airdrie he would hurt us. Alan Moore came in, and he came in as a direct competitor for the position that I held for a long time, and my natural position was suddenly up in the air, but because I was such a fan's favourite, Alan had a really rough time and tough time to get settled into the team, because the support wanted to see me, which made it good for me and a shame for him. But I never worked on that, and actually I think I lived in Glasgow, so I was travelling with Alan Moore across to here. But because Jackie left, I obviously moved also to right back at times, and I actually got injured in January, not long after the events with Norrie, in a car accident, and I was out for 10 weeks. So the whole run-in to the championship went actually past me, and then 4 games before the end, I came into the team again. I played up at Dundee. We played away there. And I played, Dundee United obviously, and I played Airdrie here, and there was one game in between, second last game. I don't know which one that was, but it must have been a home game. But and we started playing a 3 at the back. So I was one of the 3 together with Craig Robertson and Toddy. So yeah, that was. But and later on they started getting players for my position anyway, But that's up to the manager and up to the players as well, because the manager doesn't pick the team, the players pick the team, because if you show what you can do on a training every day and prepare to go for it on a Saturday as well, you automatically select yourself for the next game. Injuries prevailing, but no. That was probably the year that we got some quality influx, but also the tinkering of the team started going, and that a couple of years later there was even more tinkering, and that killed a little bit the spirit of the team that won the league as well. But yeah, that's football, It's not about me, it's about the team, and it's about getting results.
How did it feel to win the league that season? Because obviously Norrie had died in the January. We had played so many emotional games, especially the Clydebank one, and the game at Tannadice where we had won when the odds were stacked against us. So how did it feel, and was there any particular game that stood out for you that season?
Well, it was that game. It was that game, because that was the whole season coming together. Either you bottled it, but we were not the favourites, and just the result, and part of the game with 10 men, and yeah, that was amazing, because suddenly you were in pole position. That stands out, definitely.
Did Dick and Bert do or say anything different to you guys in the run up to that game?
No. Dick would obviously get a little bit more excited, and Bert would always be his calm, collective self, and that's what I always liked about Bert. He get a little bit animated in the dugout, but overall he was very calm and had a really calming effect on players. And yeah, that's what I always liked about Bert. He wasn't somebody that was shouting and bollocking at anybody for no reason, or because he'd played the game obviously at that level himself, so he knew it's a game of mistakes. And of course he's disappointed with the results, but no, they never did anything else. That was their strength, obviously. They both had their roles. Dick had his role, Bert had his role, and they stuck to that.
Yeah. The following season, obviously, we were in the Premier League.
Yes.
So how did that feel playing against the likes of Celtic and Rangers and Hibs, Hearts, Motherwell, and teams like that?
Well, I think the first season you go up, you always have this buzz of the year before, the season before, and also the unexpectedness of your team and can they do it, and it's also something psychologically happening there, that they think, well, they just come up and we are ahead, but 5% less of an established team in the Premier League and 5% more of a new champion. That would give us a lot of points, and we actually gained quite a lot of points. I think we came in fifth. But that's what happened at Dundee when I played there as well. I didn't play in the championship year, but we went up and we also, without any trouble, established ourselves in the Premiership, so in the Premier League. So it always happens, and it's obviously a massive boost if you go to places like Rangers and Celtic. I enjoy that, playing in front of 50 or 60,000 supporters or fans, no matter if they are for the opposition or not. But no, we were, and I think the camaraderie and the spirit pulled us through that season as well. And that was, we just went up a gear, obviously with a couple of new players again, but I couldn't remember if we were really investing a lot in new players, but the spirit of the team that won the league, that was still very much intact that year.
Yeah, and you scored a goal in the first game of the season against Rangers that year.
That was the 5-2. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also conceded 5, so that was, and as a defender I was more concerned with that than scoring a goal myself.
After that, you tended to not play as often for the next 97, 98, and then you left in 98.
Yes.
Was that a case of you were looking to play more games?
Yeah. There's something. I obviously came to Scotland to play football. I had an education before I came here, and if you train all week and you're left out on a Saturday because you're injured or the guy in front of you is better, fair enough. But in the 97-98 season, I probably played quite a bit, but more as a sub. Came on as a sub, and obviously I made the routing to go a position back, and sometimes I played centre half. But obviously the manager, Bert, wasn't picking me anymore. And in the 98-99 season, I was either on the bench or more times I was sitting in the stand. And I said, well, I train all week, and then on Saturday I prepare myself, and then I can't do anything with everything I've done. So I said, well, I'll go play football, because that's why I'm coming to. That's why I came to Scotland. I'm not coming here to fill the gaps and to make up the numbers. So after, I think middle of September or something like that, I had a discussion with Bert and asked, of course, what my position was in the ranking of, and then we agreed that it would be better that my contract was terminated, and that I would look for new opportunities.
So you went to Ross County.
Yes. Neil
and-
Cooper had become manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was obviously an influence that he knew how you could play.
Yeah.
Really, Ross County.
Yeah. Yeah, I signed a month's contract there, and I played 2 games, and I think I won one. I think it was second division at the time. I won. I can remember that I got a man of the match award. I don't even know which position I played there. I couldn't tell you. But then I got ill. I got the flu, and I got a really really bad flu because I was out for 2 weeks, and I was in my bed for 2 weeks, and obviously the contract terminated or expired. And in the meantime, Alec Totten came in. But I was living in Milne Ford. I was traveling up and staying up there, and here I had a club that played at a higher league, higher division, and was close to my house. So that wasn't a very difficult decision. Obviously sad for Neil, because he felt I betrayed him by going to Falkirk and not giving him the opportunity to sign me on. And I must admit, he was probably right, because I wasn't really. I was probably a little bit ducking and diving and see what would come in, you know. But for me, it was like just made sense to go to Falkirk.
The last goal that you scored in Scotland was for Falkirk, but it was against Dunfermline.
Against Dunfermline, yeah. I can remember that one vividly. Probably because I can't remember that far back, but yeah. That was a game that I played here, but I think it was the season after. The last season that I played, because I had gone home back to the Netherlands in July '99, and because my wife was going to work on the Lockerbie trial, and I was looking to start my career after football, and then the Lockerbie trial was postponed. So I phoned Alec Totten after or at Christmas time. I said, I plan to come back to Scotland for 5 months. Is there any? Can you do anything, or is there a place for me, or whatever, you know? And I obviously signed just before the millennium. Played in those first 5 games in January 2000, and then I think the game up here came along. 2-0 down, 10 minutes to go, and unfortunately for Dunfermline, I scored the equaliser.
Yes, it went down well.
Yeah, like a lead balloon.
What can you remember about your time here? Was it enjoyable being at
It was
Dunfermline?
fantastic time. It was a close-knit community, the club, the town. If you did well, there was plenty of support. If you didn't do well, you heard it. And obviously, becoming a fan's favourite was extra special for me. But yeah, I enjoyed my time. I had the highs, I had the lows here. But what comes to mind after 17, 18 years leaving this place is the team spirit. It's just everybody was equal, although not everybody is equal, but everybody was treated equally. So and I probably took a lot of that on in my further career, not inside football but also outside football. I have fond memories. Obviously, still have the championship medal. I still have the newspaper of that Monday. That was the Sun, Ivo Den Bieman, with the trophy and a little bottle of juice, which was actually champagne. And that was that just comes to mind. And if I have to tell my sons, who obviously were not around at the time, they think, is that you, or what did you do? And it's a very special time. 5 years, 5 beautiful years I had here. Excellent.
So what does Ivo Den Bieman do now?
What does Ivo Den Bieman do now? I'm a pretty busy man. I work for a company that helps people to stay longer at home with care articles. So professional beds, professional lifts to get people in and out of bed. I run 6 distribution centers where we provide people in the Netherlands, the whole Netherlands, with articles like that. I'm responsible for close to 200 people who execute that all. And if I'm not doing that, I'm busy with my family. My wife is obviously from Scotland, and I have 3 sons who are in the age range of 13, 11 and 8. And from 2009 I always take one of their teams. So on Tuesday and Thursdays I'm always training one of the boys, and on Saturdays obviously it's go and watch the games. And on the other hand, I stopped playing football myself on a reasonable level at 35, and then I played veterans with my old mates until I was 40, and after that I picked up running, so now I do long distance running quite a bit.
Well, Ivo, it's lovely to speak to you again. It's lovely
You're
to
welcome.
see you here at East End Park, and thank you for speaking to us.
It's great to be back, and thanks for the invitation.